Leos and Scorpios, how will they affect each other? They're both fixed signs, so they'll be quite stubborn. So they have to learn who will basically compromise. They have to learn to compromise with each other. But once they get together, usually they'll tend to stay together for longer periods in time because of their loyalty. But they're both loyal signs, as we said. But let's see what they trigger into each other's life, what kind of lessons they'll give to each other. Say if you're Leo, you're the Leo person with the ascendant or to a lesser degree sun or moon in Leo. Always compare your ascendant to the sun sign or the moon sign of another person to see how this person will affect you in your life. So if you're the Leo person, ascendant and to a lesser degree sun or moon sign, and there is a Scorpio that appears in your life, whether it's your child, your husband, your boss, your best friend. This Scorpio person will trigger your fourth house, the fourth house from your ascendant, sun, or moon, which is a very introverted, emotional house. So with this person, you can create very deep bond. You can create very emotional bond. They will trigger in you the desire to emotionally connect. The fourth house is the house of is the house of the soul, is the house of emotional deep bonding connection. So such people often tend, whether they're in the relationships or in friendships or in love relationships, to trigger very deep issues, emotional issues of each other. To especially the Scorpio person will affect the Leo person very deeply emotionally. They would leave such a mark on the emotional world, and in a positive way, the Scorpio person can be like a psychologist for the Leo person, as a friend or as a sibling or as a as a lover, who the Leo person can share personal information, and the Leo person can open up their heart and soul, because the fourth house is the house of the soul, is the seat of the soul and the heart. So the Leo person can reveal their more personal life and more personal experiences, deeper experiences to the Scorpio person, and they might feel more safe with them. And the Scorpio person can be a great psychologist and helper and analyzer, can help heal the emotional world, the emotional wounds of a Leo person. That's when it's a positive relationship between Leo and Scorpios. Or the Scorpio can help the Leo become more aware of such emotional issues in their lives. For instance, if you're not especially in touch with your feelings and you're Leo or ascendant, sun or moon, but particularly ascendant, then a Scorpio appears in your life, you have it means it's a sign for you. You have to get in touch with your feelings. You have to get emotional intelligence. The Scorpio person will teach you emotional intelligence in your life. And sometimes the Scorpio person can trigger this in a negative way, can trigger more deep psychological issues from the past from the Leo person, because fourth house also rules the past, rules the family, rules all those pains that, we kind of bury underneath our most personal emotions, hidden buried skeletons, whatever. And a Scorpio person can trigger these, can put them more to the surface, to the attention of the Leo person. And that's why the relationship can be also quite tense and can be quite deep to some extent, and can be, the Leo person can feel it more intensely, can feel that almost like threatened sometimes, that their personal privacy is invaded by the Scorpio person, because the Scorpio person with its intensity triggers the emotional issues of the Leo person. And for however you react to the Scorpio person, if you're Leo, you have to know that God or the universe sends you that Scorpio person, so you can, you can develop those emotional issues. You can get more in touch with your softer nature, with your emotional nature as well. And the fourth house also rules, it's very binding emotionally house, but it also rules Scorpio can help the Leo resolve those emotional, those inner things, focus within themselves, center emotionally themselves. So a Scorpio person can be a great healer for a Leo person, more evolved Scorpio person, because of this emotional healing that they can bring to them. Or to the worst case scenario, they can make the Leo person feel more intimidated emotionally. But again, because of that, the Leo person somehow, gets focused on emotional issues and tries to resolve them, tries to get in touch with their inner nature more deeply. Or, like issues of the past come to the surface, and the Leo person has to deal with them. But thanks to the Scorpio person, issues of emotional nature that have to be resolved. Fourth house also rules family and rules settling down. So Scorpio person, on another way, whether it's your friend or lover, might stimulate you to want to have your own family, to want to settle down, to spend more time at home, to get in touch with your parents, to get in touch with your roots, can stimulate your patriotic feelings as well, and can stimulate your, you know, connection to the past in some way. But usually I've seen often that, say, a woman with a Leo ascendant and a Scorpio man comes into her life and she never wanted to settle before, or again, opposite Scorpio woman comes into the life of a Leo man, and the Leo man never wanted to settle down before, but this woman stimulates the fourth house in him and he wants to start a family because fourth house rules family. He wants to settle down, put roots. He wants to explore, you know, the more private, quiet life. He wants to have a building, he wants to have a house. Or I have a friend who triggers my fourth house as well. You know, because I have my moon in Leo and I have a Scorpio friend. With her moon in Scorpio, she triggers my fourth house from the moon. And because of her, I really want to have my own family because she has a beautiful home with beautiful children. She looks so happy. And because of her example, she inspired me to want to do the same, you know. So, or they can do it in a negative way or in a positive way by, you know, by telling you something that hurts you and telling you, well, aren't you a bit too late, too old to be just living freely, whatever, and you might start feeling bad because of that, but because of this, you decide to start living more peaceful, settled life. Now let's see what happens if you're the Scorpio person. Say you have Scorpio ascendant, Scorpio sun or moon to a lesser degree, and a Leo person comes into your life, someone with sun in Leo, to a lesser degree, moon or ascendant in Leo, then this Leo person triggers your 10th house, which is the opposite of the fourth house. It's the house of career, it's the house of achievements, of being recognized by others, by being seen and visible. So a Leo person can help a Scorpio person get up high in society, can help them stimulate their career, can help them stimulate their achievements in life, sometimes by positive example, for instance, by them themselves being quite successful, and this person comes into your life and you want to emulate them and you achieve more and you become more recognized and you become more active. 10th house is a very active public house where you're visible, when you're seen, when you achieve things, when you're, you know, when you do things that are of use to others or yourself. And the Leo person can stimulate this in the Scorpio person, or can give them a bad example. The Leo person can be total bum and totally irresponsible, and because of that, the Scorpio person feels that they have to do all this, you know, that they have to achieve and that they have to be up there, so they could never be like the Scorpio, so they can never be like the Leo person, you know. But usually it tends to be through positive example, by pushing you. For instance, if you're Scorpio ascendant and your wife is Leo, Sun in Leo or Moon in Leo, this wife can be very supportive of your career. Or the opposite, you're a woman with ascendant in Scorpio Sun, and then you have a husband with Sun in Leo or Moon, and this husband can be very supportive of your achievements in career and help you climb the ladder of society. Or you can have friends who trigger your 10th house. So these friends will introduce you to higher social circles, or there will be the push behind you to achieve and be more. For instance, they might have told you something bad and hurt you, and you say, I'm going to show you, I'm going to become so famous, I'm going to become so successful that, you know, you will see how much I can go, you know. So you see how Scorpios affect Leos by making them center emotionally, by making them uh, explore emotional issues, by making them turn more towards family, towards more settled life, to more sorting out the emotional issues, you know. While Leos are the opposite. They trigger for Scorpios their desire to succeed, their desire to achieve, to be visible. They can help them with career. They can be their bosses, for instance. Leos can be bosses of Scorpio often. Leo, someone with ascendant in Scorpio, he can have often Leo bosses or people of authority or like parents figures in their life. But you see, that's the interesting interaction. And please share with us, do you agree with what I've seen? Have you seen those energies in your life? Thank you.